Kristen, glad to have you here with me this morning. Welcome to quarantine yoga. Welcome to this intermediate practice. Those that would be watching this and could benefit from this practice are especially people who have all of the standing sequence memorized and a lot of the seated memorized. I'm especially here with Kristen this morning, and I'm going to record this as if I'm talking to a lot of people, because I think this will be a practice that will be used quite a bit. But Kristen, thank you for being with me so that I'm not completely alone, though I would do this even if you weren't here this morning. So we're going to start with a 3-part breath. And we begin by laying on the back. I'll go over to my mat and demonstrate a little bit. So laying comfortably on your back, if your low back hurts or is uncomfortable in any way, then bend your knees, feet on the ground, and the feet wide so that the knees can comfortably rest next to each other. If it's just as comfortable or more comfortable to have the legs straight, that's fine. Now put your right hand on your low abdomen and your left hand kind of towards your chest, but still keeping your shoulders relaxed as possible. And just begin to breathe and notice what your hands feel like as you take a natural breath. So what I mean by what your hands feel like, what I mean is with your hands, the rise and the fall of the breath. Notice where it is. So if you have your right hand on your low belly towards your navel, that's likely where you are feeling the breath. You might feel some in your left hand in your chest area. Now, it's not easy, especially when you first start, to just breathe and not change your breath. When you start paying attention to your breath, it's most likely that you start to make some kind of change, either elongate, hold, make them shorter. So just a couple more breaths. Try to do your natural, relaxed breath. And notice how that feels. Now exhale all of your air out. Exhale a little bit more. Exhale, exhale, and then inhale, a big inhale. And notice how your hands feel or the way the breath moves. Now exhale again. Exhale, 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 exhale. Inhale, big breath. Inhale, inhale, as full as it can be. And then exhale all of your breath. And then return to your natural breath. I'm going to teach you a very powerful 3-part breath this morning. The way this works is as you inhale, you only inhale about 1/3 of your lung capacity and feel that right hand rise towards the ceiling as it fills that lower part of your breath. And then hold that breath for a moment. The next part, you will feel into your solar plexus and low lungs, and what you want to do is get the ribs to expand outward towards the side walls on that next 1/3 of the breath, and then you hold that. Then on the last 1/3 of your breath, it's your chest and up by your collarbones that you fill up full. And then as we exhale, we do just the opposite. Exhale from the collarbones down to the ribs, and then you hold that, and then you exhale from the ribs down to your navel, and hold that, and then you exhale all of your air out, and then we'll repeat. So let's try that. Exhale your air out. Inhale a third. Inhale a third. Inhale a third. Exhale a third. Exhale a third. Exhale a third. It should be all empty. Inhale a third. Hold. Inhale a third. Hold. Inhale a third. Hold. Exhale a third. Hold. Exhale a third. Hold. Exhale the last third. Hold. And repeat. Inhale a third. Navel rises to the ceiling. Hold. Inhale the next third. Ribs expand sideways. Hold. Inhale the last third all the way up to your collarbones. Hold. Exhale the top third. Hold. Exhale the middle third. Ribs are in by now. Hold. Exhale the last third. Navel returns to its normal position. Hold. Inhale a third. Navel. Inhale a third. Ribs. Inhale a third. Chest. Exhale a third. Chest. Exhale a third. Ribs. Exhale a third. Navel. Again. Inhale a third. Navel. Inhale a third. Ribs. They're wide. Inhale a third. Collarbones. It's full. Exhale a third. Down to the full ribs. Exhale a third. Down to the high navel. Exhale a third. All the air is out. And again. Inhale. 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 Exhale. 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 Again. Inhale. 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 Exhale. 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 Do it again on your own, beginning with your inhale. Exhale. One more on your own. Inhale. Exhale. 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 This time smooth it out. Think of the 3 breaths, but don't hold the breath in between. Just inhale, 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 exhale, exhale, exhale. Nice and full breaths again. Inhale, think in thirds, but smooth it out so that you're not stopping. And exhale. One more. Inhale, smooth inhale, and inhale. Exhale, smooth. Exhale. Exhale. And another one without my cueing. Exhale. another one or two on your own while I talk. Let the sound of my voice go past you and just continue your breath. This is a breath that will calm the nervous system. If any time you feel anxiety or panic or you need to be calm, this is the breath that you go to. And the nice long breath is great. Maybe somebody is around and you don't want them to know you're breathing, but you can still do this breath and even just listen to somebody. It will bring everything into focus as you use this kind of a breath. It's good to do it in through the nose and out through the nose, but also if you're very upset, in through the nose and gently out through the mouth can help to release energy. If you feel a big emotion inside and it's running around and you feel like you're going to scream or cry or whatever, then release the exhale through the mouth to calm the nervous system. Now, keeping that type of breath going, come up to all fours so that your hands and knees are on the ground, and just inhale and exhale a couple of cat and cows. So a cat has a rounded back, a cow has a concave stomach, and the shoulders and tail are high. So the cat and the cow. One more, inhale and exhale. Turn your toes, go up into a downward facing dog and just feel that on your body as we move gently and smoothly into our sun salutes after holding this for a moment. Maybe pedal your feet. Your heels can go up and down, alternating, and that can feel good on the hips. Feel the shoulders. Try to bring kind of a circular motion with your elbows maybe, or just bringing your shoulders wide. Notice your hands on the mat, especially the base of the thumb and the first finger. Really let those go into the mat. Relax your neck, and then just gently, maybe with a few steps, maybe the knees bent, bring your feet forward towards your hands and bend your knees a lot. This is kind of like a standing child's pose. It can feel really good. It's kind of like a cat back also. Now just come part way up. Keep your hands on the ground. Maybe your knees are still bent, but your ribs are right by your thigh. Exhale your your breath. Bring your head down. Do that standing child's pose again. Feel your hands on the mat. Bring your legs a little bit straight. Keeping your legs straight, just let your head drop. On the exhale, then inhale, stand all the way up, and we will begin our first Surya Namaskar A. Hands together in Anjali Mudra. Natural breath, but notice that your natural breath may be more full than before. Exhale all of your air. Inhale for Om, and then we'll be doing the invocation this morning and beginning the Surya Namaskar A. Exhale the air. Inhale for Om. Vande Gurunam Charanarvinde Sandarshita Swatma Sukhavabode Nishreyase Jankalikayamane Samsara Hala Hala Moha Shantye Havahu Purushukram Shankachakrasi Darinam Sahasra Shirasam Shvetam Pranamami Patanjalim. Om Inhale, look up, thumbs up. Exhale, hands down, head down. Inhale, look up, shoulders back, ready for the high plank as you step back on your exhale and knees down, elbows in. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, look forward, bring the feet forward. Exhale the head down. Inhale, stand. Feel your feet into the mat as you look up to the thumbs. Exhale, Samastitihi. Repeat. Inhale, look to the thumbs. Full breath. Exhale, hands to the mat, head down. Full breath. Inhale, look up, shoulders back. Exhale, high plank to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, look forward, feet forward. Exhale the head down. Inhale, stand up. Look at the thumbs above the head. Samastitihi. Inhale, look up. Exhale, hands down, head down. Inhale, look up, shoulders wide. Exhale, step back. High plank to low plank. This is chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Count your 5 breaths. Bringing the shoulders away from the ears, turning outward, which brings the elbows inward. Thumb and first finger bases on the mat. Neck is loose. Tail is high. Heels are low. And 5. Inhale, bring your feet forward. Exhale the head down. Inhale, stand. Exhale, Samastitihi. Inhale, look up. Exhale, hands down, head down. Inhale, look up, shoulders wide. Exhale, step or float back. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Go through that checklist again as you breathe. Thumb and first finger, elbows, shoulders, tail, heels. There may be a slight bend in the knees to keep the energy flowing. And 5, inhale forward. Exhale, head down. Inhale, stand, look to your thumbs. Exhale, Samastitihi. 1 more. Inhale, look up. Exhale, down. Inhale up. Exhale, back. Inhale up. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. forward, come forward. Exhale the head down. Inhale, stand, look to the thumbs. Exhale, Samastitihi. Surya Namaskar B. Bend the knees, hands up. Exhale, hands down, head down. Inhale, look up, shoulders wide. Exhale, step back, high plank to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, step forward with the right. Inhale the hands up or just the shoulders wide. Exhale the hands down, step back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, step forward with the left. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, hands down, step back, high plank to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Go through that checklist in your mind as you breathe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale forward. Exhale, head down. Inhale, bend the knees as you come up. Samastitihi. Inhale, knees bent, look up. Exhale, hands down, head down. Inhale, look up, shoulders wide. Exhale, step back, high plank, low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, step forward with the right. Inhale, hands up or shoulders just wide in the hands. Don't have to go up if you're getting very tired. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, step forward with the left. Inhale, up. Exhale, down, step back. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Keep the breath moving. If you have a very heavy breath, go into child's pose for a few breaths. One more breath. If you're in child's pose, come back up to downward facing dog, and on the next inhale, come forward. Exhale the head down. Inhale, bend the knees as you come up. Exhale, Samastitihi. Again, bend the knees, hands up. Exhale the hands down, head down. Inhale, look up. Exhale, step back, high plank to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step forward with the right. Hands up and hands down. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step forward with the left. Up. Exhale down. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Last breath. On the next inhale, bring the feet forward. Exhale the head down. Inhale, rise up with the knees bent. Exhale, Samastitihi. We're going to skip two of the last Surya Namaskar Bs and go straight to Padangusthasana. Bring the feet hip distance apart, hands on the hips. Inhale tall, exhale forward, taking the toes. The index and middle finger are between the first toe and the next toe. The thumb is on the outside, creating a circle with your fingers. Extend the spine, inhale, exhale the head down, and the 5 breaths here. Try to lean a little forward in your foot, into the ball of the foot. One more breath. And exhale. Inhale, just come part way up. Straighten the arms. Take the hands underneath the feet so you're stepping on the palms of your hands. Inhale again, straighten the spine, elongate. Exhale the head down. If your thighs are not close to your ribs, bend your knees a lot until you can feel the ribs next to the thighs. And then if you want to straighten your legs a little bit, that's good to help with your hamstrings opening up. One more breath here. Inhale, look up. Exhale, hands to your waist. And then inhale, stand all the way up. Samastitihi, feet together. Utthita Trikonasana. Step out to the right. Right hand will be down. Left hand up. You can take your toe like we did in Padangusthasana. Keep breathing. Or the hand could go on your foot, your ankle, your calf, whatever is right for your body today. One more breath here. And inhale, come up. Rotate the feet so that you're going into your second side. Exhale as you go down. One more breath. Inhale, come up. Parvrita Utthita Trikonasana. This is reverse triangle. So the right hand is up, the left hand is down. You can look up at the hand above you. If that is hard on your balance, you can keep your eyes down. One more breath. Inhale, come up, pivot on your feet. Exhale, second side. So your right hand is going down, the left hand is up in the air. And 5, inhale, come up. Exhale, feet together, Samastitihi. Parsva Konasana, step out to the right, extended side angle. The front knee is lunged. You can bring your hand all the way down to the ground on the outside, or the forearm with the palm towards the ceiling can be on the knee, on the thigh. Extend the left hand. Feel that side stretch. The chest is heading towards the ceiling. And 5, inhale, come up, reverse the feet, second side, however works for you today, wherever the hand is right for you today. One more breath. Inhale, come up, and pivot the feet again. I'm going to take my back knee down. This is a modification to help with the twist. So bringing the hands to chest level, turn towards your right, and exhale there. Inhale, turn a little bit further towards your right, exhale. Inhale, raise your chest, and a little bit further. Make sure that your hip is not going with you. Inhale, tall, exhale, twist a little bit more. Inhale, tall, and twist a little bit more. Let's do one more. Inhale, and twist. Now, exhale, bring your head forward and stand up. Inhale as you stand, then exhale as you take your second side. So again, hands about chest height, look back over your shoulder, you're twisting towards the left. Inhale, tall, exhale, twist some more. Inhale, tall, exhale, twist. I'm taking my right hand and keeping my hip from going towards the turn so that the twist is happening. Inhale, tall, and twist at the waist. Now inhale, look forward, exhale, release the pose and come on up on your inhale, exhale, Samasthiti. The next pose, Prasarita Padottanasana. This is a wide leg forward fold, stepping out, facing the long edge. The feet should be straight forward or slightly pigeon-toed. Inhale up out of the pelvis, and then exhale the hands down between your feet. Head towards the floor. Feel your tail up in the air as you breathe in and out 5 times. There needs to be energy coming up your legs by pushing the feet into the ground. One more breath. And exhale. Inhale, come only part way up, straighten the arms. Exhale the hands to the waist. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale the hands down. Inhale, tee out the arms. Exhale, hands on the waist, thumbs behind, forefingers in front. Inhale, really come up out of the pelvis and then lean forward, keeping the hands on the waist, head down. Padottanasana B. Breathing in and out. Energy coming up the legs, squeeze the thighs. Some will say lift the kneecaps as a cue. One more breath. And this time, inhale, come all the way up. Exhale the hands down. Inhale, tee out the arms. Exhale, interlace the fingers behind the back. Maybe feel the palms touching if you can, and really bring the chest wide and high. Inhale, up out of the pelvis. Exhale, come forward. If your shoulders bother you, keep your hands on your back. If your shoulders feel okay, begin to raise the hands away from your back. Inhale, tall. Exhale, lean a little forward. Inhale, bringing your shoulder blades towards the spine. Exhale, maybe lift the hands a little bit more. Only do it if it feels okay. One more breath. On the next inhale, come all the way up. Exhale the hands to your side. Inhale up out of the pelvis, keeping the hands to your side. Just come straight down, taking your toes. Again, first and second finger between the toes, thumb is on the outside. If your head is down far enough and you have the flexibility, your arms are bent in a 90-degree angle. If you're not too far down, that's fine. Your arms may not be bent. Just keep breathing. If your low back feels like it's really tight doing this, you can bend your knees on all of these. Bend them a lot, like a really wide, deep squat. That will change your low back. This is a really good alternative. Give yourself one more good breath, in and out. Then on the next inhale, keep your hands where they are, just straighten and look up. Exhale, you can bring your hands to your waist. Inhale, come all the way up, and exhale. Samasthiti at the top of the mat. reverse prayer in Parsvottanasana. It's like this, or taking the elbows, step out, not as far as triangle. Both of the toes are heading towards the short end of the mat. The back foot is more of a 45-degree angle. The navel towards the front knee as you exhale. Shoulder blades working towards the spine. Neck is soft. Both feet equally into the ground. Breathing. One more breath. Inhale, come all the way up, pivot on your feet to do your second side. Inhale up out of the pelvis, exhale, navel towards the front knee. One more breath. Inhale, come up. Exhale, feet together, Samastitihi. Uttita, and let me say this right. Uttita Hasta Padangustasana. You can bring your foot all the way up, but I'm going to do the modification of just bringing my knee up and holding my knee. If this is too much, just raise your foot a little bit or hold underneath here, really pushing into the mat with the standing leg. Sternum is high, breathing, and then open up to the right. The gaze can go to the left. Inhaling and exhaling, just like at the beginning of the practice. And 5, inhale, bring the knee or the foot forward. Exhale, look towards the knee. It's like a bow. Inhale back up, and then without losing your balance, the foot goes straight forward. Now the toe might just barely touch the ground when you first start, and then maybe after you've been doing this for a while, the toe can get higher and higher and higher until eventually it's coming right out of your hip. But don't worry about that yet. And 5, put your right foot down, raise your left leg, either take your knee, your full foot out, whatever is right for you today. Sternum is high. 5, now open up towards the left, look towards the right if you can. Sometimes if you don't change your gaze, you can keep your balance better. You can have your hand out for balance if that helps. 5, inhale, bring your knee forward or your foot forward. Let's do that little bend in there. And then straighten the left leg. You can point your toe, you can flex your foot, or you can floint, which is both pointing and flexing at the same time. Some people call it like Barbie walking in high heels, that kind of a foot. And 5, that foot goes down. Ardha Baddha Padmottanasana comes up, and the first stage is just to balance. You can take a wall behind you if you're by a wall to help make sure you don't fall over, and just bring your foot up. Eventually there's a forward fold with this. You can hold your toe with your left hand, bring your right hand behind and grasp the top of the opposite arm, or you can just balance in this pose. And 5, bring your foot down, left foot comes up, either balance, hold it with your right hand, left hand can go around the back, or you can take a forward fold if that's where you are in your practice. And 5, bring that foot down. We're going to do a vinyasa. Hands up, look to the thumbs. Exhale the hands down, head down. Inhale, look up. Keep your eyes up as you step back. High plank to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Immediately both feet forward into Utkatasana, chair pose. Knees bent, hands up. If your shoulders hurt, you could have your arms down lower, palms looking towards the ceiling. Or if they feel fine, you can have your hands together. Good 5 breaths. Inhale, just stand up, and exhale, bring your hands down. Another vinyasa. Inhale, head up. Exhale, step back. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Virabhadrasana. 1, bringing your right foot forward. And bring your hands up if your shoulders feel okay. Your hip bones are facing towards the short end of your mat in front. Breathing. And 5. Just straighten your leg, pivot on your feet, keep your eyes on your thumbs, and lunge into your second side. 5 breaths here. And 5. Inhale, keep the legs where they are, but open the hips to the long side of the mat for Virabhadrasana B. This is also called warrior. Gaze is over the left middle finger on this side, whichever lunged knee, that's your gaze. And 5. Inhale, just stand up, pivot your feet, look to your second side. One more breath. And then 5, bring both hands to frame the front foot, high plank to low plank, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. And then bring your feet forward. You can either just bring your knees down and sit, or you can jump through. Dandasana, or staff pose, is the first seated pose of the primary series. So sitting tall, feet are flexed, so heels are extending out. This brings energy up your legs. And then think about also energy in the ball of your foot, almost like that pointy feeling. One more breath. 5. Inhale, sit really tall and come forward for your forward fold. The first hand position is around the big toe, that middle, the first and second finger are between the toe and the first toe, and the thumb is on the outside. If this is too much, hands can come down. What we don't want is to collapse the back. Keeping the back straight, ribs are heading towards the thighs. And 5, inhale, look up. Exhale, release the pose. We're going to do the B position. So it might be a repeat of the A, but if you are there, your hands go on the outside, and my fingers are kind of pushing the base of the toe around. And the same application. You need to keep the spine straight. Never sacrifice a forward fold to make the spine round, thinking that somehow your head going lower is better. It's always the chest and the ribs that are coming in contact long before the head comes down. And 5, inhale, look up. There's actually a C version. We're just going to do those 2 today. Now, put your hands to the side and lift. You can fold in your legs and come forward into your vinyasa. Hopefully you remember what's coming next. Here's our Ardha Baddha, that means half bound. Ardha is half, Baddha is bound, Padmo is lotus, so half bound lotus. Paschimottanasana, which is that forward fold. So bringing the right hand around the back. If you can take your toe, that's great. If you can't get your toe yet, and that can take, for some of us, quite a few years to get to that point, you can take a towel or a belt or something around your foot and then grab that with your right hand, and that gives you the bind even if you can't reach all the way to your foot. Up out of the pelvis, forward fold, same things apply. Don't collapse into a round back. This bind helps you to keep your shoulder back away so that your shoulder blades are working towards the spine. Last breath. Inhale, look up. Exhale, release the pose. Normally we do a vinyasa here. I'm just going to have us lift and back down and do the second side. So set up the same way. If you need a belt or a towel around your toe, and then just take your pose up out of the pelvis before a forward fold. Your forward fold might be pretty subtle, or it might be that your head's way down and your ribs are right next to your thighs or on top of your foot in this case. Breathing those 5 breaths. And 5. Inhale, look up. Exhale, release the pose. Now bring your feet back into crisscross position, and then chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, and come forward, sit down again. So every pose begins with Dandasana. Our next one is Triansh Ekapada Paschimottanasana. Your right knee your foot is bent back so that your knee is forward but your foot is back. Your left leg is straight, but sometimes this is really hard when we're starting. So if you have a block, you can sit on that block to give yourself space for that bend. So you're sitting right on the block. Your hips are even, just like you're sitting on the ground, but it gives you some height. Then you can come into your forward fold if that's good for you, or just sitting tall and straight. And 5, inhale, look up. Exhale, if you're on a block, just switch. Don't worry about lifting or doing a vinyasa. I'm just going to switch and do the other side. Bringing that foot. Left foot back. Your right leg is forward, lifting up out of the pelvis. If you've got any forward fold in there, you can do that. Or it may be just straight up and down is all you need. It's not magic just because you can bend forward. These poses help wherever you are. There is no race to some imaginary finish line for any pose. Just getting a benefit each day that we do this practice, every pose. Inhale, look up. Exhale, release the pose. If you're on a block, go ahead and remove that. Come forward into your vinyasa. So, chaturanga. And our last pose we'll do today is Janu Shirsasana. Bringing the right foot, the sole of the foot, into the left thigh. Again, sitting tall, trying to keep your hips and your sits bones on the ground. Again, this could be your pose right here. And then, if you can, a forward fold. Now, a warning, your foot that is on your thigh really should not be at your knee. It can hurt your knee. If this is too much, just stay seated. If you need to, just put your foot down further towards your shin, your calf. That's okay, just not on your knee. 2 more breaths. And 5, inhale, look up. Exhale, release the pose. Let's lift again here. Just a lift. Eventually, that lift takes you into your vinyasa. And then we'll do our second side. The sitting tall, but grounding the sits bones is the most important step. More important than the forward fold. If you forward fold without doing that step first, you're not really getting the benefit out of the pose. 1 more breath. And 5, inhale, look up. Exhale, release the pose. Bring the feet back. Again, there's a lift that happens and then back into our chaturanga. That's something we'll work on another day. Downward facing dog. We're ready for our closing poses. The first one we'll do is our bridge prep. If you have your blocks, put them between your feet and another one between your knees. The long side is parallel to your shins. And then lay down. My block's a little too far. All right, squeeze that block. Just do that first. Squeeze your knees. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And release. So this particular practice or warm-up, krama, getting ready for full wheel where you go up into a back bend, is about strengthening your body, but getting yourself lined up. So go ahead and release if you're still squeezing. Bring your sits bones or your tailbone towards the back of your knees. This creates a flat back. You can feel your back on the ground and a little hollow feeling in the stomach. And you're wanting to maintain that and then press your knees together. Just stay down right now. Push, 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 push. You might feel your feet even more into the ground, but the squeeze of the block is what we're especially trying to do here. Without getting the jaw, the neck, and the shoulders all tight. That can be hard. And 5, release. So everything in a neutral position. We're going to do the same steps, but this time we're going to raise our hips. Generally, when you raise your hips, you might lose the shape of the back that we start with. Just try to remember to go back to that. Another way to think about that shape is the low ribs and the iliac crest, those hip bones that stick out in front. You want those to kind of work themselves together so that you close the gap between those two. So I cued, bring your tailbone to the back of the knees, but now think about the front of the body and maybe even put your thumbs on your low ribs and your fingers, I have my middle fingers on the iliac crest, the bony protrusion, and notice how in that position those two things stay together. I'm going to keep my fingers in that position, squeeze my block, raise my hips, keeping the ribs and the iliac crest working towards each other, but now my hips are off of the ground. Squeeze the block, release the glutes if they've tightened up. Really squeeze. There should be a shaking if you're doing this properly, and a very low abdomen activation here. If you're doing this all in the right order. That's the things you will feel. Last breath, exhale down. All right, release it. We're going to do one more of those. Go through all of those steps one more time. Really release everything. Check your glutes. Make sure they're not into the action. All right, here we go. Tailbone towards the back of the knees, or we could call this Uddiyana Bandha. Squeeze the knees, bring the hips up. Check that shape, that those ribs and iliac crest are coming towards each other. Really squeeze. The squeeze and internal rotation is to help release the glutes. There should not be glutes involved in this pose once you get up. Really squeeze one more time. Squeeze and breathe. Relax your jaw. And exhale, bring that on down. All right, let's bring the blocks to the side. Bring your knees up by your chest. A little bit of a low back stretch here. Now, either with your hands on top of your knees or behind your knees, either one works. And then we're going to rock and roll up. So with a little bit of momentum, we're going to roll up and bring the feet forward into a forward fold. So inhale tall, exhale, come forward, just like at the beginning of the practice. You might take your toes or your hands might be to the side, whichever one helps you to keep your back extended, shoulder blades towards the spine. Think of that point as you come forward to activate your legs. If you have a little extra roll like I do, you can lift that away a little bit, tuck it underneath, and sometimes that really helps my ribs to get closer to my thighs. There's actually 10 breaths, so you can keep experimenting with this. Try to find the ease in the effort. 50% making it happen, 50% letting it happen. So maybe you're squeezing your kneecaps and everything is 100%, and then you can release only 50%. And you might feel an energy flow that you didn't notice before. That's the prana getting into the body, that flow. 2 more breaths. And release the pose as you inhale. No, inhale, then release the pose on the exhale. I said that wrong. Bring your feet into a cross position. Roll over into chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And now we're ready for shoulder stand. If you are on your moon cycle, if your energy is low, if your mind is busy, if you're upset, you should just do legs up the wall, which is just the back is on the ground and the feet are up. Just legs up the wall. You could even turn around if you have a wall by you and put your legs up the wall. If you're going to do Sarvangasana, which is shoulder stand, I take my hands under my glutes and give a little bit of a push and push myself back onto my shoulders. The forearms, not the forearms, the tops of the arms are pushing against the ground. And this protects your neck. Keep the hands on the waist if you're all the way up into Sarvangasana, shoulder stand. And this is held extra long. If you are in a full practice, this is 25 breaths. Often in my own practice, I just go to 15, just for time's sake. Five more. breath flowing. And 15. Let the toes go back behind your head. Legs are straight. The toenails may or may not touch the ground. It doesn't matter. Keep your hands on your low back. This is actually 8 counts for this breath, or for this pose. These closing poses, a lot of them are 8 counts. 2 more breaths. This is called halasana. Now, just let the knees come towards your forehead, or they can even go past your forehead towards your ears. This is called pindasana, or ear pressure pose. You might even squeeze your temples if you're not down to your ears, but if you're past your forehead. 1 more breath here. And then inhale, bring your legs back up if you're in the shoulder stand. And you can do your feet, your palms, or the soles of your feet together this way. If you have a half lotus in your practice, you could bring your foot over the top of your thigh. If you have a full lotus, this is actually where full lotus comes in. If you're doing half lotus, you can change halfway through. This is 8 breaths. If you have the soles of your feet together, just bring your knees down towards your head. If you are folded, then just bring the fold down towards your head or your chest. This is Urdhva Padmasana. And then just slowly bring your back onto the ground. If you were down the whole time on your back, then just bring your legs down in front of you. We're going to do Matsyasana. This is up on the elbows, wide shoulders. And this is a krama towards the full pose. If this feels like there's no challenge whatsoever, and your neck feels okay, you can bend your head back and try to touch your head to the ground, but keeping your chest high. Again, 8 breaths for Matsyasana. One more breath. Now, carefully, if your head is back, lift your chin a little bit, and then bring your head down on the ground. Our last pose, we can just bring our hands at a 45-degree angle. If you can lift your legs at a 45-degree angle and hold this, it's a little abdomen crunch here. If this is too much, just bring your toes down. But really try to bring those low ribs and the iliac crest together as you breathe. This is 10 counts here. It's kind of a yoga sit-up or abdomen crunch. So think of that shape that we did before. The ribs, iliac crest coming towards each other. Maybe a hollowing of the stomach. 3 more breaths. And 10. Release that. You can go to your side and come on back up into a vinyasa. All right, one more pose before our last three, final closing. And you've gone all the way through the steps of our full closing pose. That started with the prep for back bend. So wheel or back bend is the first of the closing series, and Shavasana is the last. So headstand prep. I'm not going to go up into a headstand, but bring your hands together, interlace your fingers. You want your elbows to be pretty close together. When you go up, you want them to be straight out from your shoulder, but when you go up, there's a tendency for them to go out. So err in the coming together, don't let them flail out. And then we're going to push our forearm against the mat and lift this into a little cat back. So again, that same shape where the ribs and the iliac crest come together, and you're bringing the energy up like the navel is coming towards the middle of your body or towards the spine. All right, so interlacing the fingers, keeping the elbows close together. I'm going to go this way. It might be easier for you to see on the camera. My elbows are pretty close together. There's a little basket here to put my head down. And the head, you can find a spot that feels like it won't hurt your neck. So just put your head down on the ground and really try to push your head off of the ground with your forearms pushing. Your head doesn't actually have to be on the ground. Just push. And then bring a cat back up into that position. So the iliac crest and the ribs are closer together. The navel is raised. The elbows are pushing against the mat. The forearm, the pinky side of the hand, all of this is pushing against the mat. And really big cat back. Try to release the neck in this position. And breathe. If this doesn't feel like any challenge at all, you're probably not doing a cat back. You're probably not pushing away with your arms. If you feel like you have strength and you want to go into the downward facing dog, this is called dolphin, and keep pushing those forearms, keep raising the cat back. This is a lot of work if you're doing it with the energy. Go ahead and bring the knees down if those were down, and then into a child's pose. Even in child's pose, you need to do that little lift at the navel. It doesn't have to be very big, but just a little one. That's called Uddiyana Bandha. Keeps everything safe when we engage that area. And this child's pose is called Balasana. It's for about 10 breaths. Feels really good after you work hard in a headstand. Inhale, look up towards your thumbs. And then come up into all fours, step back into your high plank and low plank. Go through that vinyasa. And then come to the top of your mat in the seated position. This is full Padmasana position. That's what we're working towards, but that can take years. And you can get your Padmasana and then lose your Padmasana. I'm in a cycle where I did something and I can't do full Padmasana. I was actually trying to work on my Padmasana and I injured myself. So no injuries today. So no full Padmasana probably today. A half lotus is just bringing your foot up on your thigh, or I actually like to have both feet on the ground and just opening up. If this really hurts to be on the ground and it's like painful to try, I've seen people, they're like this, it hurts, it's hard. You can sit up on a block and that will give some space for your legs. Somebody that is very extreme, you can sit up on 2 blocks. So you're not cheating. You're not like a hero if you're not on a block. It's just wherever your body is at whatever given day, that's what you need to do, and that's where the benefits will come. So bring your right hand out, thumb down, bring it all the way around, so you're hugging the opposite waist, and all the way down and around. Roll your shoulders a couple of times, and then you want your shoulders to be in the back position. It will bring the shoulder blades towards the spine. And then just as much as a forward fold as you can do. Up on the block, it won't be very much. And breathe. This is called Yoga Mudra. Close your eyes on this. All the rest of the poses, your eyes should be open, but here, close your eyes. Breathe. The purpose of this mudra, it's not a pose, it's a mudra, which is a body shape, is to bring all of the prana that you have made during your practice, that energy, and to store it back into your body so that you can use it later. You should consider never skipping this one. It's so useful. And last breath. Inhale, look up, and exhale, bring your hands. This is actually bothering me. I'm going to come back down. So we can always adjust, like this knee is bothering me today, the other one's fine, and I'm putting a block underneath to give it a little extra support. So no matter how long you do this practice, you will need to adjust from day to day. So bringing the hands, palms up. They are resting on the backs of the knees. Elbows are straight, the wrist is straight, the spine is straight. Shoulders are wide, just like every other pose. Now we're going to exhale all of the air out, then do our 10 slow count breaths. So exhale, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sip the air in. And exhale. And this is good to make this Ujjayi breath. Inhale. Exhale. Keep going. This is breath number 5. It's a little bit like that 3-part breath that we did at the beginning. Filling everything extra full and exhaling slowly. Inhale again. This is breath number 6. The eyes should actually be open and gazing down towards the mat. Exhale. Inhale for number 7. And exhale. Do the last 3 on your own. Check to make sure your spine is still straight, your elbows and wrists. When you get done with your last breath, wherever you are, then at the end of that 10th breath, just let your elbows relax into your side and sit quietly for a few moments. This is not a pose. There's no breathing that you're thinking about. There's nothing prescribed here. You're just being. Just being with yourself. Leaving yourself alone. If there are any thoughts that come in, you just let them float on by and be with yourself. And if your mind has wandered, just bring it back to yourself. Some days it's nice to stay in this place for a while, but today we're going to open our eyes and do uplitihi, which is the lift, hands to our sides, lifting and breathing for as many breaths as you can do. It might be 5, it might be 10, it can be whatever is right for you today. And once you get as far as you can, see if you can do one more breath. This is for strength. And then if you can, lift and come forward into your vinyasa. This will be your last vinyasa, and then your shavasana. Get yourself set up. Maybe you put a towel over your eyes. Maybe you need a bolster or a blanket underneath your legs. Get just as comfortable as you can. And as you do that, I'm going to talk you through just a little bit. And then I'm going to leave you in the middle of your shavasana. And you need to wake yourself up at the time after you have rested. This has been a big practice. If you can give yourself a full 10 minutes, that would be excellent. So hopefully you're feeling very comfortable. Your eyes are closed. And take a big inhale through the nose and a big exhale through the mouth. Do that again. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. We're releasing extra prana in through the nose and out through the mouth. Like at the beginning of the practice that we did the 3-part breath, it releases through the mouth extra energy that might be stored in your body. Now just relax. Let the earth cradle your body. Check and see if there's anything that is tense. If it is, let it go. So your jaw and your tongue, are they released? Your neck and your shoulders. Into your chest and your ribs, that solar plexus area. Just release the waist, the abs, the hips. Release the thighs and the calf muscles. Feel those calves. There's part of them that's resting on the ground, and there's your heel that's resting on the ground. Let that be. Your legs should be splayed out. Your arms comfortably on the ground. Your breath is normal, just like you were before you started. Breathing without changing the way your breath is or looks. And after you've rested here for about 10 minutes, you'll roll onto your side with your eyes closed for just a moment. And then with your eyes closed, you will sit up and just check in and see how you're feeling. Please continue your own shavasana. I give my internal namaste and thanks for your practice today. Every time you go to your mat, it makes the world a better place. At least it should make your world a better place. If it doesn't, please contact me so that we can talk about what adjustments you need to make in your practice. Now rest and enjoy the last few minutes of your yoga practice today. Namaste.